I'm going to show you exactly how to take control of your digestion using some incredible, science-backed hacks, especially focusing on something called type 5 starch. It's a total game changer.
But first, we really need to talk about what I like to call the sourdough and rice paradox. Get this, back in the 1880s, the average Japanese urban worker was eating over 2 pounds of white rice every single day. And over in 18th century France, peasants were putting away up to 3 pounds of white bread daily. I mean, it was literally their primary source of calories. Yet, when we dig into historical medical records, things like type 2 diabetes and severe metabolic syndrome were virtually non-existent in these populations.
So, the big question is, why didn't these folks suffer from mass insulin resistance? If you spend, 5 minutes on social media today, you're constantly told that white rice and bread are basically metabolic poisons, just pure chains of glucose, perfectly designed to lock away body fat. Most people just brush off this historical paradox and say, well, they worked in the fields and walked more. And hey, physical activity definitely matters, for sure. But actually, scratch that. It's an incredibly incomplete answer. It totally ignores a major breakdown in food biochemistry that happens when we modernize how we cook.
To really understand the problem, we have to look at the baseline chemistry of cooking. Starch is basically built from long straight chains called amylose and branched chains called amylopectin. When you cook starch in water, this process called gelatinization happens. Water wedges itself right between these chains, forcing the starch granules to swell up and literally burst open. It's like popping a balloon. When you eat modern, freshly cooked white rice or that super soft commercial bread, your pancreatic enzymes can easily grab these wide open chains, instantly snapping them down into pure glucose. And boom, you get a massive blood sugar spike.
But there is a brilliant molecular solution to all that bursting starch. And this is what I really want us to focus on today. Meet the absolute hero of this explainer, type 5 resistant starch. It's also known as an amylose-lipid complex. Now, a lot of people have heard about type 3 resistant starch. That's what happens when you just cool your leftover rice in the fridge. But type 5? Type 5 is a far more powerful molecular trap, and it is amazing at preventing spikes. When you introduce specific fats during the heating process, free fatty acid chains insert themselves directly inside the helical spiral of the amylose molecule. This creates this tight, water-repelling core. Because you've literally changed the structure, your digestive enzymes just don't have the right physical shape to grab onto the starch anymore. The type 5 starch acts like an impenetrable shield, passing right through your system and completely preventing those massive sugar spikes.
So, how do we actually build this into a daily habit? Well, here is exactly how you create this type 5 resistant starch at home right while you're cooking. Step 1. Bring your water to a rolling boil. Step 2. Add 1 to 2 teaspoons of a fat that's rich in medium-chain fatty acids. Think extra virgin coconut oil, grass-fed butter, or ghee. Step 3. Add your raw rice. The crucial part here is that the fat is already in the water right as those starch granules start to heat up and swell. The lauric acid in the coconut oil actually wedges its way into the starch, building that protective type 5 molecular shield before the food even hits your plate.
Oh, and here is a super cool bonus tip straight from the research literature. If you add 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon or lime juice into the cooking water right alongside that oil, the mild acidity actually reduces how much the starch swells during boiling. This gives you a much tighter crystalline structure. And honestly, the absolute best part about this type 5 shield, unlike basic cooled rice, it is entirely thermally stable. That means you can reheat your rice in the microwave or toast your bread, and that resistant type 5 structure remains completely intact, cutting your glucose absorption by up to 50%. No way, right? It's that effective.
Alright, so we fixed the chemistry in the cooking pot using type 5 starch. But let's travel a bit further down the digestive timeline. Did you know your body actually begins digesting bread before you even swallow it? It's true. You are essentially a walking science experiment. The whole carbohydrate journey kicks off the exact second the food enters your mouth.
And this brings us to a really fascinating quirk in our genetics. Humans carry anywhere from 2 to 15 copies of something called the AM1 gene. This is the gene that encodes for salivary alpha amylase. If you happen to have a high copy number of this gene, your saliva is basically a starch-destroying machine. It can rapidly liquefy starch right there in your mouth within like 10 seconds. This creates these early, rapid sugar surges that immediately signal your pancreas to release insulin, before the food even hits your stomach.
But don't worry, regardless of your genetics, you can actually shut down this enzyme during your very first bite. And here's exactly how we do it: by using dietary polyphenols. When specific polyphenols bind to the active catalytic site of that alpha amylase enzyme, they act exactly like a broken key jammed inside a lock. The enzyme is totally stuck. It just cannot clip those starch chains into glucose anymore.
Which gives us our second massive biochemical hack, the oral amylase block protocol. It's so simple, but wildly effective. All you do is drink 3 to 4 sips of concentrated, unsweetened green tea, which is packed with a polyphenol called EGCG, or hibiscus tea, which is rich in anthocyanins.
Just do this about 60 seconds before you take your first bite of bread or rice. According to clinical trials published in the British Journal of Nutrition, doing this can inhibit alpha amylase by up to 60 to 80% in real time. Your starch is now going to survive the mouth and stomach, arriving in the small intestine as large, slow-digesting complexes.
Which sets us up perfectly for the final stage. Once that starch finally hits the gut and starts getting slowly broken down, how does the glucose actually cross the physical wall of your intestine and get into your bloodstream?
Well, to understand this, we need to look at two microscopic transport channels lining your intestine. First up, you have SGLT1. Think of this as a slow, low-capacity pump. It's totally safe and steady. But then, you have GLUT2. GLUT2 is the massive floodgate. When a large amount of glucose hits your gut all at once, GLUT2 moves from inside the cell straight up to the surface, and glucose just rushes into your blood at maximum speed. This GLUT2 floodgate is exactly what causes those sharp, scary vertical spikes you see on glucose monitors.
So, our final biological hack relies on one absolute golden rule. We must manipulate how fast our stomach empties to keep that GLUT2 floodgate bolted shut in the first place. We have to keep the glucose delivery so slow and steady that the body only needs to use those safe, low-capacity pumps. We do this by essentially creating a viscous gel layer over the lining of the gut, which physically slows down the diffusion rate.
And that brings us to the L-cell preload protocol. About 5 minutes before your meal, mix 1 teaspoon of a viscous fiber, like psyllium husk or oat beta-glucan, along with 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, right into a glass of water. Here is where the magic happens. The acetic acid in the vinegar actually relaxes the valve at the bottom of your stomach, turning the release of food from a rushing flood into a slow trickle. Meanwhile, that viscous fiber triggers specialized L cells in your intestine to release natural GLP-1 and PXX hormones. This basically sends a powerful signal to your body that you are full, and it actively downregulates those dangerous GLUT2 transporters on the intestinal surface.
Okay, I know we've covered a lot of heavy biochemistry today, from gelatinization all the way to intestinal L cells. Let's pull all of this amazing data together into a really practical, rapid-fire daily routine. Here is your complete daily blueprint to eat bread and rice without the spikes.
Step 1 starts right in the kitchen. The Type 5 method. Remember, Type 5 resistant starch is your ultimate foundational molecular shield against glucose spikes. Whenever you boil rice, just add 1 to 2 teaspoons of coconut oil or butter, plus a tablespoon of lemon juice straight into the boiling water before the rice even goes in. And hey, if you want to be an absolute overachiever, cool it in the fridge overnight. That lets you stack Type 3 resistant starch right on top of your impenetrable Type 5 complex.
Step 2 is our mouth hack, block oral amylase. Just take 3 quick sips of concentrated green or hibiscus tea right before your very first bite of carbs. And please, remember to chew your food thoroughly. Slower, deliberate chewing gives those tea polyphenols the time they need to mix with the starch, jamming that molecular lock and delaying the breakdown of glucose right from the starting line.
And finally, step 3, the gut hack. Preload your intestinal L cells. 5 minutes before you sit down to eat, drink your psyllium husk or oat beta-glucan mixed with apple cider vinegar. This simple little drink forms a robust physical gel barrier in your gut, slowing down gastric emptying and making absolutely sure those massive GLUT2 floodgates stay tightly closed, keeping your bloodstream perfectly safe.
So the science is crystal clear, isn't it? You really don't have to fear carbohydrates if you understand how to manipulate their structure, like prioritizing that Type 5 resistant starch and taking charge of your own digestion. Which leaves us with one final pretty important question. Will you continue letting modern food processing dictate your metabolic health, or will you use biology to finally take back your bread and rice?